The Roman Empire. Rise, Glory, and Fall. Intro. Imagine a civilization so powerful it ruled over 70 million people, nearly a quarter of the world's population. A civilization that built roads stretching 250,000 miles, created timeless laws, and shaped languages still spoken by billions today. This was Rome. Welcome back. Today, we're telling one of the greatest stories in human history, the Roman Empire. From a tiny cluster of villages on the Tiber River to the mightiest empire the ancient world ever saw, and then one of history's most dramatic collapses. Let's dive in. Part 1. The Origins of Rome. Before the empire, before the Republic, there was a legend. According to Roman mythology, Rome was founded in 753 BC by twin brothers Romulus and Remus, sons of the war god Mars, raised by a she-wolf. Romulus eventually killed his brother and became Rome's first king. Myth or not, Rome began as small Latin-speaking villages on the hills along the Tiber River in central Italy. By around 625 BC, these villages merged into a proper town. Early Rome was ruled by kings, 7 of them. But in 509 BC, the Romans did something remarkable. They threw out their king. Tarquin the Proud was such a tyrant that the Roman aristocracy rose up and replaced monarchy with something entirely new. They called it the Res Publica, the Republic. Power would not belong to one man, but to institutions, elected officials, and laws. Part 2. The Roman Republic. The Republic was governed by a senate of aristocratic patricians and 2 elected consuls, each serving just 1 year. No single person should hold power too long. Rome also developed its famous legal system. In 450 BC, laws were written down in the 12 Tables, Rome's first constitution. The principle was clear. Everyone is subject to the law. As the Republic grew stronger, it expanded, first across Italy, then across the Mediterranean. Rome's greatest test came in the Punic Wars against Carthage, the powerful North African city-state. In the Second Punic War, the brilliant Carthaginian general Hannibal Barca marched an army, including war elephants, across the Alps into Italy. For a decade, he devastated Roman armies. At the Battle of Cannae in 216 BC, he destroyed nearly 80,000 Roman soldiers. And yet, Rome refused to quit. They reorganized, counterattacked, and took the war to Africa. General Scipio Africanus defeated Hannibal at the Battle of Zama in 202 BC. Carthage surrendered. By 146 BC, Carthage was utterly destroyed. Rome now ruled the Mediterranean world. Part 3. The Fall of the Republic, Julius Caesar. But power and wealth created new problems. As Rome's territory expanded, riches poured into the city. But most went to the already rich. Farmers lost their land. Political violence spread. The Senate grew corrupt. Into this chaos stepped a man of extraordinary ambition, Gaius Julius Caesar. Caesar was a military genius. He conquered Gaul, modern France, over 8 brutal years, from 58 to 50 BC. But he wanted political power too, and the Senate feared him for it. In 49 BC, they ordered him to disband his army. Caesar refused. He crossed the Rubicon River, the line no Roman general was permitted to cross with troops, and marched on Rome. "The die is cast," he said. After defeating his rivals, Caesar became Dictator Perpetuo, dictator in perpetuity. But on the Ides of March, March 15th, 44 BC, a group of senators, including his friend Brutus, stabbed him to death. 23 wounds. They called themselves liberators. They thought they had saved the Republic. Instead, They had killed it. Part 4. The Empire begins. Augustus. Caesar's assassination plunged Rome into civil war again. His adopted heir Octavian fought Mark Antony and Cleopatra for control of the Roman world. At the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, Octavian crushed them. Both Antony and Cleopatra took their own lives. Octavian, just 32 years old, stood alone as master of Rome. He was clever. He didn't call himself king or dictator. He kept the Senate, maintained appearances of the Republic, but held all real power himself. The Senate gave him the title Augustus, meaning the revered one. He called himself Princeps, first citizen. The Roman Empire had begun. The year 27 BC. Augustus ruled for 41 years. Under him, Rome entered the Pax Romana, the Roman peace, 2 centuries of stability, prosperity, and extraordinary achievement. Part 5. The Golden Age. During the Pax Romana, Rome's population reached 1 million. The empire stretched from Scotland to Mesopotamia, from the Rhine to the Sahara. Roman roads, over 250,000 miles of them, connected the entire empire. All roads lead to Rome was literally true. These roads were so well engineered, some still exist today. Roman aqueducts supplied cities with clean, fresh water. At its peak, Rome had 11 aqueducts delivering 1 million cubic meters of water daily, a standard not matched in Europe until the 1800s. The Colosseum, completed in 80 AD, held up to 80,000 spectators. The Pantheon, built around 125 AD, had the world's largest dome for over 1,300 years and still stands perfectly today. Roman law became the foundation of legal systems across Europe and Latin America. Latin evolved into Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian. The Roman Empire was simply the most influential civilization the Western world has ever known. Part 6. The Fall. But nothing lasts forever. After Emperor Marcus Aurelius died in 180 AD, Rome began its slow decline. Political instability brought over 50 emperors in 1 century, most of them murdered. Economic troubles followed as expansion stopped and the treasury dried up. Germanic tribes, Goths, Vandals, Huns, pressed relentlessly on the borders. In 285 AD, Emperor Diocletian split the empire into western and eastern halves. In 410 AD, the Visigoths sacked Rome itself, the first time in 800 years. On September 4, 476 AD, the Germanic chieftain Odoacer deposed the last Western Roman emperor, a boy named Romulus Augustulus, and the Western Empire was gone. The Eastern Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, survived nearly 1,000 more years, falling to the Ottomans in 1453. Conclusion. Rome was a civilization of breathtaking contradictions, genius and cruelty, justice and oppression, magnificent art and brutal entertainment. It was, above all, deeply human, and its legacy is undeniable. Walk the streets of Paris, London, or Lisbon, Rome's shadow is there. Open a law book, speak French or Spanish. Look at any government building with columns. Rome is there. The empire fell 1,500 years ago. But Rome itself, Rome never really died. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one.